Hey, welcome to Tom Goldsmith Guitar. This is going to be a video on chromatic style playing. A couple of examples of chromatic licks, chromatic type scales on guitar. So chromatic playing means playing by going up or down in pitch, semitone by semitone at a time. In other words, consecutively moving up or moving down fret by fret on the same string is chromatic playing. It's often used in improv, and chromaticism can be used to make your playing or soloing a bit more interesting. You can use chromatic parts to kind of bridge or link scales and sections together, or if you're trying to create a solo that uses as many notes as possible, you can play chromatic sections to replace any unwanted rests or silences. So it's good to use a lot of chromatic parts in your improv or when you're jamming, but obviously you don't want to use it too much. You don't want to overuse it to an extent that you're sounding pretentious with it. It's good to find that balance or moderation. So here's, just off the top of my head, an improvised jam that uses a lot of chromatic parts. So here's the chromatic scale itself. Let's throw this in the key of A. What you're doing, the most practical way to play it would be to move down a semitone every time you change string, and you're playing 4 consecutive semitones in a row each string. So on the E string, bottom E, 5, 6, 7, 8. A string, 4, 5, 6, 7. D string, 3, 4, 5, 6. And end on the octave of your root note, which would be the 2nd fret of the G string. So all that is a more practical way of going on the bottom E, semitone by semitone, starting from A, 5th fret, just playing consecutive semitone by semitone until you reach the octave. But obviously it's a lot more practical to play it using different strings, because you're saving space and feels more natural. And as I said in the start of the video, chromaticism or chromatic playing can work as a great sort of bridge to connect 2 licks or 2 scales, or to go from one melody to another. You can maybe introduce another section using chromatic playing. It's a great way to just get rid of any unwanted rests or silences. I'll show you and teach you an example of that now. So what I did there is go from that basic Phrygian dominant part. Then I moved to that diminished sounding scale, but I kind of bridged the two together by moving from one scale to the next with that chromatic part kind of bridging the two scales together, if you will. So what I did was go chromatic, next lick. So that is in the key of A. Phrygian dominant part going on the bottom E, 5, 6, 9. A string, 5, 7, 8. 5, 7, 8, 7, 5 on the D string, and then 8, 7, 5, 7, 8 when you return to the A string, and then here's the chromatic part. Staccato or legato that. So semitone by semitone. 6, 7, 8, 9. Move down a string, move down a semitone. Same again. And then that leads you to that diminished sounding lick. So yeah, chromaticism, chromatic playing can be a great device to use to bridge or link two scales or melodies or sections together. So that was a brief look at some interesting things to do with the chromatic scale, some interesting things to do with the whole concept of chromatic playing in general. We had a look at how it can be used to really help fill out a solo or an improv or a melody as much as possible. How it can be used as a great function to get rid of any unwanted rests or silences, to bridge melodies or licks together, and a kind of lick of the day that used that concept. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you get to put some of this into practice, and hope you're in for a great new year. And don't forget to shred lots and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you.